I'm Tracy Osborne, and you're listening to the Daring Woman podcast. Imagine the story of a generation being altered by women who were empowered to live their truth and in turn can empower others to live theirs. It's time to rewrite the narrative. All right, so most of you know that for 10 years before I started Daring Woman, I was a virtual assistant. And so that means I helped entrepreneurs handling all their day-to-day things that they needed done with their business. And that experience has helped me tremendously with Daring Woman because I've been able to do so much of that stuff myself and not have to outsource it. But eventually I know I'll get to that point. Now, being in that world for so long, I know that the predominant reign of virtual assistants is in the U.S., but it is growing worldwide. And my guest today actually is helping women in Africa to become empowered by doing exactly what it is that I did for 10 years. So Thembi Bheka, she is the founder and the host of She Breaks Through podcast, which you may have listened to me on that not too long ago. And she helps women to reignite their passion, gain more clarity, and reconnect with their bigger purpose. So Thembi, thank you so much for joining me on the show today.
And thanks for having me, Tracy.
So let's start a little bit. Tell us a little bit about your background and how you got into helping women become virtual assistants so that money is never a reason that they're stuck in an abusive relationship.
Absolutely. So basically quite a long background, but it all stems to me being married at a very young age and, in a very uncomfortable situation. And when I left Zimbabwe 18 years ago to move to Canada, and I told myself that I was going to change the future for women in Africa because a lot of women were stuck in abusive relationships just like I was. A lot of women were in uncomfortable situations because of money. And I left Zimbabwe with the aim that I was going to do it one day. Didn't know when. It took me 18 years. Mm-hmm. But finally, I eventually decided to start teaching women how to be virtual assistants so they could be empowered as well.
Now, how were you able to kind of escape and start a new life in Canada?
I came here as a refugee. There was a refugee program going on. There was political violence in Zimbabwe. So I left and moved here as a refugee. So really, it wasn't my brilliance, but it was just me getting this opportunity to come as a refugee. And that's kind of how I got here.
That's awesome that you were able to get out. Now, you were able to get out of the marriage that you were in, or are you still in that marriage?
No, I was able to do both at the same time.
Oh, that's good. That's awesome. But so many don't have that luck and they're stuck in these relationships and, they're not good. They're just bad relationships. They're abusive. They get married young. They're forced marriages. And, So, how did you decide after 18 years that teaching women to be a virtual assistant was the route to go?
I actually didn't decide that. So what happened is I went through this transition. I mean, I became a registered nurse and then I started investing in real estate. And then I started with teaching women how to invest in real estate. But I noticed as I was doing that it was quite a big step for people to go to from where they were to go to teaching real estate. I was like, oh, okay, this is kind of an advanced level. So I had to scale it down and got into online marketing and was doing some launches. And then it just dawned on me and I was like, why don't I just teach women how to be virtual? Actually, I was going to teach them how to create income online, just like I have done. Right. And I was going to do that. And I went back to Zimbabwe and with this idea, and then I got there, I realized these women are not there yet. Like they are not at the stage where they can even create income online. They need to learn how to make money right now to put food on the table. And the fastest path for that for me was being a virtual assistant, because I had hired VAs before. So that's how I started doing it. I started training them how to be virtual assistants.
And so these women, tell us a little bit about how that program works. How do you find them? How do you train them? What do they do?
Okay, so mainly it's been word of mouth, but when I started, I kind of just approached people I knew, and I started sharing the message about what I was doing. And there was a lot of resistance because nobody had ever heard about this whole VA thing. Like this is new in Zimbabwe. And
Sure.
so I was approaching people I knew and just telling them, you can create income online, and making examples of the people I had worked with and showing them how it works. And there was people who believed and there were people who didn't believe. And after that, people started spreading the first class. They were so excited. They were so excited when they started earning in US dollars and literally earning their income like maybe even 10 times more than what they ever earned, or 500 times more than what they ever earned in their life. And so it was like, oh my God, this is amazing. This is a great program. And now we have wait lists for every program we start. Like we're going into our third training right now, and we already have people who are waiting for it. So but it all started with just one class of me sharing the messages. And in every class, I made them, they pay for this training, because I believe when people invest in a training, they take more action. So they pay for this training, but we do offer scholarships for each class. So there is a portion of people who we approach who we feel they are really in uncomfortable situations and they need to be empowered. And we always input that portion as a bonus into the class.
And so I'm not really familiar with the culture in Africa, just, bits and pieces that I have learned over the years, but how do the men accept this? I mean, are they okay with the women going out and working and making their own money, or does it threaten them?
Well, most women in Zimbabwe, because of the political situation, are already working anyways.
Okay.
Even though they are being not working, not getting paid as the male counterpart is getting paid. There's definitely huge differences there, and not getting employed as the male counterpart is getting employed, but they are definitely working. It's just like North America. They wake up every morning and they go to work. Sure. Most of our students, we've got a doctor in there, we've got lawyers, we've got engineers, we've got highly educated people. And so they are already working. So it's not about if they're allowed to work per se, but I think it's a matter of how this can change their life.
Sure. And it changes their life drastically, doesn't it? I mean,
usually, like recently I've just been watching videos of people who were just giving testimonials to us and sharing how this changed their life. And I was like, oh my God, it's just amazing. It's just amazing how their lives change, because these women go from where they couldn't even maybe put food on the table, to just having money in their pocket and being able to support. And when women are empowered, they empower other generations.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a saying, empowered women empower women.
Yes.
And that is absolutely true. Absolutely true. And so it becomes kind of a snowball effect.
It does. It's just changing the world.
Now you're kind of on you have kind of a high mission here. You want to empower how many women by the year 2025?
1 million, and that number goes up every day.
Mm.
Yeah, I have set it to 1 million, but I've realized that for you to make a movement and have a powerful movement, 1 million is not enough. Actually, studies have shown that for you to have a powerful movement, you have to reach 20 million people. And so I am on a mission to be on every podcast I can get to and share my message to women. I am on a mission to be on every stage I can get to. And I'm on a mission to meet every woman out there who needs help and support them.
I love it. So for those who are listening to this and definitely want to know more, how they can help, how they can reach out and hire these women to help, what are some of the things that you train them to do?
So I train them on general VA and technical VA stuff, but just to be specific, the main stuff which we're working on, which they've been working on, because now they're working under my agency. And so the main stuff which we work on is WordPress. So if you've got a website and you need some updating and it's something, a WordPress website, that is, we can help you with that. We also help you with funnels. So that means if you have, an email, like you want to connect your email list to your landing page, to your lead magnet, those kind of things, those technical terms. Basically, we can help you with anything technical.
Awesome. Okay. And so they would just reach out to you?
The best way is to come to shebreaksthrough.com, and the through is THRU, shebreaksthrough.com, and just go to the Empower an African Woman tab. That is the best way to reach out to us. And another way, we have a gift on our website. If you go to She Breaks Through, or you could use my name, thembibheka.com. When you get there, there's a gift which shows you how you can delegate easier ways to work with a VA. And if you get into that gift, you're going to come to my email list. We are going to be sharing a program which is coming up actually in a couple of weeks, where you can just sign up for that program, and I give you an intensive training of really how to even hire your first VA. It doesn't have to be my VA, but how to hire your next VA, your first VA, your next VA, or your 10th VA, and save money. Because most people, they hire these people and they end up being broke. They're like, they have got net revenues of $1 million, and they have got revenues of $1 million, but their net profits is like 10,000. So
Sure.
I kind of take you through the steps during this training of how you can do that, how you can hire a VA who's aligned to your mission, works hard, and also increases your revenues. And so I have that free training. If you can go to shebreaksthrough.com and just sign up and get that gift, will help you with that.
Awesome. Okay. And yeah, so we'll make sure we put the link down in the show notes for that. How has this impacted your life? Being able to give back and help your own Native people.
Oh my God, I'm so glad you asked that question, because when I left Canada to go to Zimbabwe, I thought, I'm going to Zimbabwe to empower women. Little did I know that I was going to be the one who was going to be empowered. And just seeing the resilience, the courage, and the work ethic these women had was so inspiring for me. It was just so inspiring for me. So I have grown. I've grown mentally. I've grown spiritually. And I've grown physically as well, sadly. But I have grown to the extent where I have realized how much I can learn and how much more we can learn from African women, from their resilience, from their passion, from their hard work. And I do these trips now, Tracy, where I take women from North America to Africa. We call them the Rediscover Your Lioness trips, just so they could also go and learn, because there's so much we can learn.
I am going to put that on my vision board, because I've always wanted to go to Africa, and that would be amazing.
Let's do it. Let's do this.
That sucker's going on my vision board.
Absolutely. The next trip is October. You can come with me on the October trip.
We'll definitely talk about that for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Any final words that you want to leave? Anybody who's listening who may be, feeling down on their luck right now, or just any final parting words, really.
Well, I just want to say, I just want to share a story. Like these African women, when I went to to meet them and to start working with them. Some of them had never used a computer.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them had never even have had the word virtual assistant. But because they were so desperate to change their lives and change the future for their children, they decided to take a risk and take a leap and do this. So for anybody who's listening today, sometimes you could be in a situation where you're like, I don't even know what the future holds for me, or I'm in such a desperate situation, I just want my life changed. Mm-hmm. My question to you is, how desperate are you? How desperate are you? Because if a woman in Zimbabwe who earns about $50 a month can invest in a program which is worth $100 a month, can invest $100 a month, just to change the life and the lives of their children, I believe we all can do something along those lines. And it doesn't have to be about investing in our education. It's about investing in yourself, even not financially sometimes, but just taking the next step every day to say, how desperate am I to get out of this situation? When I left Zimbabwe, I only had $5 in my pocket, but I was so desperate to change the life for my daughter. Those obstacles I was meeting didn't matter. And I just went for it. And I know when you're in that situation, that desperate situation, I was actually talking to a Portuguese, I had an interview with a Portugal community yesterday. And I was sharing with them that, sometimes, and I hate to say this, but sometimes we just make our situations worse than they actually are. We do. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying that when you're in an abusive relationship or when you are suffering right now, when you're feeling low, it's not bad. It's bad. But it's not the worst that could be. There's a girl right now in Cambodia who is stuck in a brothel, probably a 13-year-old girl who's pregnant because she was kidnapped and all that stuff. Like, it could be worse. Just think of how desperate am I to change my situation, start taking action, and think about other people and like, really, how worse could it get? It's not like you're going to be in Cambodia the next day if you take action. So that's really what I can say. I am of the belief that in North American people and the Western world, we have just way too many excuses, and we just need to snap out of it.
Oh, yes, we do. We have way too many excuses over here.
Yeah.
And we make it easy on ourselves to use them. So.
Oh yeah. Like somebody who says, no, I can't have children because my mom called me stupid when I was 5. I'm like, oh my God, I was called stupid every day.
Yeah, my poor kids.
No, I'm just saying, but I'm not saying that if you don't want to have kids, you should have kids. No,
right?
But I'm saying that some of the reasons people give you is like, seriously, just snap out.
My dad used to always say excuses are like assholes. Everybody's got one, and most of them stink.
Exactly.
Yeah. So yeah, next time you put off something that you really want to do, or you really want to try, you really want to be. Really stop and think, why am I using these excuses? And most of the time it's fear.
It's fear.
It's fear. Fear of success, fear of failure, fear of change.
Yeah.
Fear of the unknown. It's fear. So, the first step to becoming empowered is embracing that fear and saying, I hear you. I understand that you're there. I thank you for being there and for being cautious, but hold on to your hats because we're going to go have some fun. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, Thembi, thank you so much for coming on the show. It was a pleasure to speak with you again. And I absolutely love what you're doing over in Africa. I can't wait to get over there and see it for myself.
Thank you so much, Tracy, for having me on the show.
And ladies, for you listening, as always, thank you so much for being part of this, and we will talk to you next week.